Westcott recently released the third version of its popular curved reflector, the Eyelighter. Now, based on my love of this particular modifier and the upgrades they seem to have made to it, I contacted them and asked them to send me one. And they did. I'm pretty excited about it, and so I wanted to give you full disclosure. They did give this to me to review, and I am going to do so. I'm going to set it up and tell you what I think about it. Now, they did not tell me that I have to be nice, so I'm going to give you all of it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and who I think it's for. Before we get into it, don't forget, if you like the content, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out my podcast. It's called Photobomb. It comes out every week. And if you check the description of this video, you will find a link where you can sign up to my weekly photography email newsletter, Photographers Only. It's the best place to find out where I'm going to be teaching, what new products I've got coming out, free giveaways, access to free webinars, all kinds of cool stuff. And in addition to that, for signing up for the newsletter, you will get my free frequency separation action for Photoshop. All you got to do is sign up. So let's get started. Now, the Eyelighter is of particular interest to me because I use one just like it every single day. Now, other companies make curved reflectors like Newer, and Adorama's Glow brand. They also produce these very similar modifiers. But in my experience, the Westcott version, having used all three, the Westcott version is definitely the best build quality of the products, but it has a couple of specific problems. There are two main problems with the Westcott version of this product. The first is the cost. Now, it's roughly similar to the other brands that make something the same, but the Westcott version doesn't come with the other fabrics. They don't include as much in the purchase, whereas if you get the Glow brand, for example, you get the curved reflector and all the different color fabrics like gold and white, which is my favorite. The second problem is that this is not a small modifier, and because of the way that it's designed, it is not particularly easy to transport unless you set it up and break it down. And the setup and breakdown on this, no matter which brand you get, typically is about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how good you are at it. So if you're a location photographer, someone who's not shooting in the same space all the time, you're going to find yourself spending quite a lot of time breaking this thing down and setting it up. Unless, of course, you've got a giant SUV or a minivan and you can just leave it set up in there. Either way, the portability and the setup and breakdown time are a problem. With the Eyelighter version 3, Westcott seems to have addressed these complaints and fixed both of them, which is kind of what I'm going to test today. The first is the issue of portability. The new design allows you to set up and break down in what Westcott claims to be as little as 2 or 3 minutes as opposed to 7 to 10. And this is a huge, huge upgrade. Now, addressing the cost, again, which is mostly the same between the different brands of these same types of modifiers, they now include the different color fabrics, which is fantastic. Not only that, keeping with the whole make it faster theme, you can actually change the color of the fabrics just by laying them on top and using the Velcro to put them in place. So this means that instead of having to break the whole thing down and switch the fabrics and reassemble it, you'll be able to just drape your new color over the top of it. And that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to get into the box right now. I have not opened it before. I'm going to set it up, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
The king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never lack those. She saw the stone, you know how that go. Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke. Knock on the door. She at the back row. All I really take is a little taste.
This is the problem now with middle age, is that you have to wear your reading glasses for the instruction manuals. Now, I expect that the setup time is going to take more than it will in the future because I'm opening it for the first time, but I should get a good sense of how easy this thing is going to be to set up and break down.
Crazy and I got bad ones and they ready. A good time, so now it's in the whip we left at. Can't remember anything, but I know we got lit.
First off, the packaging is pretty cool. It comes with a nice bag for it if you want to transport it that way. So that's very, very helpful for people that shoot on location. It's not amazing quality, but it's certainly good enough. And it has nice straps, so everything has a nice place to go, and includes a nice little sort of mesh net on the top that you could even store your extra fabrics in and things like that. So it took me about 5 minutes to put it together, and that's taking it out of the packaging and reading the instructions. And that's a really good sign considering this was about a 15-minute build the first time I put together an older version or a different version of a similar kind of a product. Okay, so here's the big difference in the design. Instead of the poles connecting to each other, they actually connect to the center base right here, which is pretty neat. So you can see that this is fit perfectly, this little groove for this little dib right here. And you pop it in, wait till it clicks, and then when you want to take it apart, you just push that and pull it back out. So you don't have to put the whole thing together. You put half and stick them both to the middle. Really clever design. So this is the other part that I really like, is it now includes the different color fabrics. But like other versions will come with multiple other fabrics, 2, 3 other colors that you have to disassemble and then put the new fabric on and then reassemble it. With this, it's actually just drapes over and uses these Velcro edges to connect, which is very cool. Not to mention that now it's just one piece of fabric with gold, silver on one side and white on the other. Now, white is generally my preferred when the silver is just a little too intense for something like a regular old business headshot, the thing that I do pretty much the most in my studio. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm going to see how this goes on. Okay, so for the wrap up, what I love about it, I love the style of it. I love the effect. I love how much heavy lifting it does in a portrait. You really, with one light and an eyeliner curved reflector, you can get incredible results from, with the silver side, really impactful fashion, glamour, beauty, and with the white fabric, just really great fill light for any kind of standard close-up portrait. It's just probably my favorite lighting modifier. Now, the things I don't like about it, I mean, it's still pretty big and it's not, I don't think it can get much easier because of the curved design to transport. But it's just going to be one of those things where you're not always going to have the room to use it. If you have to set up in a boardroom or something like that, you're going to be knocking up against a board table and chairs and stuff like that. So it's really not an every situation kind of modifier. It's a specialty product, but for those times when it comes in handy, it's perfect. So now I've got the one that's a real pain in the butt to set up and break down that's going to live here at the studio. And I would use the Eyelighter 3 in my go bag. So for when I have location jobs, it's just always there and ready to go because it's not a big pain in the butt to set up anymore. I think this is for any photographer that does a lot of head and shoulders or waist up portraiture that needs to get the maximum amount of light with the minimum amount of effort. It's a really fantastic tool for that. It really does a great job of lighting eyes, and not only people with, blue and green eyes, light eyes looking fantastic. It takes brown and kind of can make them gold and light them up and define them in a way that we used to go in by hand and do in Photoshop. So it's almost like built-in in-camera eye retouching. So anybody who does a lot of close-up portraiture on the go is absolutely going to love the results that they get with this. So that's all I got for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the description of this video for a link. And don't forget to sign up for my email list and get your free frequency separation actions. Do you have an eyelighter? Are you thinking about the Eyelighter 3, or do you have one of the other versions like Glow or newer? Let me know in the comments what you think, and I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.